There's been some pretty strange things happening in the sky recently, and the recent Chinese balloon and other unidentified objects flying across the US and Canada have caused a lot of curiosity and even fear. What most people don't remember, or may not even know, is that these aren't the first foreign objects we've dealt with.
During World War II, Japan sent over 9,000 balloons to cause terror and chaos in the United States. One of these balloons would cause the deaths of 6 innocent people. They are the only deaths on the continental United States as the result of enemy action in the Second World War.
Let's dig into this.
Saturday, May 5th, 1945 was a lovely spring day in Bly, Oregon. 26-year-old Elsie Mitchell, pregnant with her first child, hadn't been feeling very well, but decided to join her husband, Reverend Archie Mitchell, and some of his Sunday school class for a picnic and some fishing on Gerhardt Mountain. The children were all 11 to 14 years old and excited about the trip. Elsie had baked a cake and, by all reports, was looking forward to a lovely afternoon.
While her husband parked the car, Elsie and the children explored. In the wood, they found a strange object. Archie would tell newspaper reporters Elsie yelled to him about their find, and he tried to warn them not to touch it. But it was already too late. Archie stated, "Just then, there was a big explosion. I ran up and they were all laying there dead. By the time Reverend Mitchell reached the area, a second explosion had already occurred."
He immediately saw Elsie on the ground. Part of her dress was on fire. Reverend Mitchell burned his hands but managed to put out the flames. Elsie and their unborn child died within minutes. Eddie Engen, Jay Gifford, Dick Patsky, and Sherman Shoemaker had been closest to the device. They had been thrown into the air and died instantly. Joan Patsky, the younger sister of Dick Patsky, was laying a little way off, unconscious. She would not survive her injuries.
Bly, Oregon was small, tight-knit community, and news of the death spread quickly. Their deaths would be listed as and reported as due to an explosion of unannounced cause. Some newspapers stated Army intelligence officer had instituted a blackout in information regarding the explosion and no local authorities would give information. The families were told not to discuss what happened with anyone.
So, what did happen? The strange object found in the Oregon woods was a Japanese Fugo balloon bomb. And it wasn't the only one. The United States government and military had been seeing the balloons since November of 1944. In December of that year, one of the balloons was found crashed in Montana. And on March 10th, 1945, 4 more balloons were found. But the government had decided that the best strategy of dealing with the balloon invasion was to make Japan believe the whole plan was a failure. By January of 1945, the press had been asked not to report anything about balloon bombs to protect national security. It was critical to the plan to make Japan believe no Fugo ever made it to U.S. soil.
Fugo balloons were supposed to cause Americans to panic by starting massive fires. The balloons carried payloads of 27 to 33 pounds of bombs and incendiary devices. Many were aimed at the vast forests of the Pacific Northwest. The paper balloon was supposed to explode and start the forest on fire, and all evidence for the bomb would burn, leaving no trace. And the government would waste resources that could go into the war in fighting massive fires in civilian panic.
But the massive fires never happened. There was no civilian panic because very few people knew about the Fugo balloons. Because of this and the blackout on reporting, the U.S. military plan to fool Japan actually did work. By April of 1945, Japan had decided to end the balloon bomb invasion, thinking it wasn't working. They had already launched an estimated 9,300 balloons headed for the United States, and many of the balloons that made it across the ocean and crashed were laying where anyone might find them, with their bombs still attached. The deaths of a young pregnant reverend's wife and 5 children, who innocently happened to find one of them, forced the military to come out in the open with information on the Fuggo balloons in an attempt to prevent more tragedy.
The community of Bly, Oregon did not respond well to the news. A local newspaper editorial put the responsibility for the 6 deaths directly on the United States government for not warning the public of the invasion. It's a miracle there haven't been more deaths since about 900 Fuggo balloons actually reached North America. Almost 300 have been found in the U.S. from Michigan and Texas to Alaska. Dozens have been found in Mexico and Canada, and they are still out there. The Royal Canadian Navy found and disposed of a Fuggo in 2014, and another was reportedly found in British Columbia in 2022.
In 1950, the Mitchell Monument Historic Site was established in the Fremont-Winema National Forest near Bly. A tree with shrapnel from the bomb still stands near a plaque remembering the 6 people who died as a result of enemy action on the continental United States in World War II.
We hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
And we'll see you on the next one.